This is why I wanted to wait a bit because then we'll be able to find what the potential issue is. So I need to watch that. But anyway, forget all that. Let's just get back into reaction videos. Or they ever when it was a black grand national, FB national, give them what I asked for. It's not enough. I wonder if, yeah. Actually, let's get back into reacting this. 10 most hated albums. Drake will regret this. Okay. All right, let's just react to this and then let's stay on path, man. Stay on path.
What makes Serato sample so special is I can just take the drums out, remove the vocals, I even remove the bass. This is why we got stems and the pitch control. We can do what we want.
Now, Drake has just dissed Kendrick Lamar within a way that we have not seen from him in quite some time. As to kick off this new year in hip-hop, instead of ranting on streams or whining on social...
No, here's the thing. That diss, yeah, or if you can call it that, it just was, it seemed like it was recorded the same time of him recording the Hard Part 6. You know what I mean? That's what it seemed like, in my humble opinion, because it's the same tone. It's the same tone. But then again, it might not have been. I don't know. Either way, he's wearing braids. So when did he cut off his braids? You know what I mean? That's the time when he got to stick to. But at the same time, who cares, man?
On social media. Drake has actually gotten back in the booth and has released a new song where instead of switching genres or languages in an attempt to try and just run away from everything that Kendrick Lamar did to him and represented, now Drake is once again trying to take him head on with nothing more than his bars and a beat.
No. See, it's fake. It doesn't even sound like, from what I was hearing, and if you see my reaction video to it, from what I was hearing, it doesn't even sound like he was trying to diss Kendrick head on. Remember, I was saying just say names. Even the way the layout of it, he doesn't seem confident. Even him just reading off his phone or whatever, like he doesn't seem confident. You know what I mean? But one thing he did say in there that I did agree with: oh, you are going to prison and you are crashing out, and your brothers are complicit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go.
And now, as this marks just in a few days the second full-on record that is dissing Kendrick Lamar to come out this year, and this is from none other than Drake, what is clear is that the rap game is running around and trying to find a way to take down the undisputed champion of everything, and really with Drake here, what it seems like he's trying to specifically do is, after seeing how every single way he tried to make a comeback just failed miserably, whether that was releasing more music, switching genres, or trying to be a full-on streamer. Now Drake is trying to get back in the rap game by poking Kendrick enough to the point where it gives him the attention that he would otherwise never get at this point. But now, before we dive into every single diss Drake throughout at Kendrick here and why he is saying all of these things at this very moment, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with this new track from Drake,
make sure you leave a like and subscribe on their channel. And make sure you leave a like and subscribe on my channel as well. Let's go. Even if you're a Drake fan, hit the subscribe button. If you're a Kendrick fan, hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, if you're a hip-hop fan, hit that subscribe button. But anyway, let's go.
From Drake, which is seemingly titled Fighting Irish, right in line with everything else he has done ever since he lost to Kendrick Lamar within a fashion like we have never seen before. This song is very emotional, and Drake is showing that his feelings did really get hurt bad in this.
See, I told you, when I was reacting to it, that's the feeling I got. I feel like he is very emotional. Now, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? No, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, he's within his right to express how he feels, but he's still coming across as whining. He's still like he's crying. Like you lost, and what? You know how many times certain MCs or certain rappers have lost battles, but they still carry on with their careers and they're still successful. They don't whine or complain about why they lost or why this person never supported them, or like, you know what I mean? Furthermore, I don't think I heard any bars that were towards Birdman or towards, or not even it's Birdman, let's say towards Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne's gonna say different during the beef.
beef, but instead of acting like a total clown, Drake is at least putting this sadness and bitter feeling of lost back into the bars directly, which, hey, after somehow managing to make every single wrong choice for almost an entire calendar year, this is somewhat of a step in the right direction. And now with Drake actually presenting himself within a way that somebody who calls themselves an MC always should, for better or for worse. He does say a lot here and seemingly does two main things, which the first one is to try and justify the crash out he has been on and why he's been acting like the biggest fool in music right now. But then also, and in the greater sense, he is trying to get back in some sort of musical conflict with Kendrick Lamar, because for the first time since Family Matters, Drake is actually flipping.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's trying to get back into a conflict with Kendrick Lamar, because even Kendrick Lamar responded back when Fink said, talking about he wanted a round two. Even Kendrick Lamar said, there are no round twos. Do you get it? So there isn't going to be a round two. Now, will there be subliminals here and there again between each other? Of course there will. But the reality is this. We know Drake lost. And the sooner Drake realizes he lost, the better for him and his career. You know what I mean? Whether you like him or not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just besides the point. You've got to think about it from a perspective of, if you, as a human being, like, one thing, you've got to get over certain things. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not really going to make a difference to his career either way, him losing. I mean, all right, you've got some people saying they will never look at his music the same or whatever. Fair enough, that's them, innit? You know what I mean? But I feel like when it comes down to it, again, like I said, I do not think there's going to be a round two. Kendrick doesn't want a round two, and not that he's scared of a round two. It's like there's no point. He's already won. Like, what more do you want? Like, I don't know, man.
Flipping Kendrick's bars from his diss tracks to trying and dispute them, and instead of just denying everything in the strangest way possible like he did on The Hard Part 6, Drake is somewhat on the offensive here, despite how weird it is that he is doing this all of these months later. And so now, after Drake starts this track off by admitting that during this legendary summer that was going on in hip-hop, he just completely missed it, which I guess is his way of saying that he never delivered those summer vibes that he promised after the beef, which I mean, I guess some self-awareness is better than nothing.
The Wildly is the final phase of Elephant Park, a £2.5 billion regeneration master plan in a highly sought-after Zone 1 location just 2 minutes from the London Underground. The developers have saved the best till last.
Hey, listen.
From here,
Drake Hey, listen. Anyway, let me just get back to this.
Immediately gets back into his delusional bag as he tries to call out Kendrick and find ways to discredit and diminish his win, as after framing himself as the victim of the entire music industry, he tries to discredit everything with bars like "the world fell in love with the gimmicks, even my brothers got tickets."
No, see, this is what I'm trying to say. Look. The thing is here, I see him as a gimmick. So it does feel like, from my interpretation, and obviously he could, because you can never ever say, or maybe you can say, but it would be unbelievable. Like, literally, no one really would believe it. No one would believe that Kendrick Lamar's a gimmick. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So if he called himself a gimmick, fair enough. Now he has to own that he is a gimmick. Is that what he's trying to say? That's what I was saying in my reaction. Is he trying to say he's a gimmick? That himself? That's a good start. You know what? Live your truth. Rap your truth. Sing your truth. Do you see what I'm going to say? That would make more sense, because authenticity matters. But let's keep it moving.
Which, now, the first part of this bar is, of course, trying to say that everything Kendrick did against him was a gimmick, and that's just trying to underplay what all of it meant and represented.
Okay, no. There's no way. This is why I said there's no way you can call Kendrick a gimmick. Yeah, there's literally no way. Do you know what a gimmick actually means? A gimmick is a trick or a device intended to attract attention, publicity, or trade. It's not so much as a program to improve services as a gimmick to gain votes. Yeah, that's what a gimmick is. Or what does the word gimmick mean? An ingenious or novel device, scheme or stratagem, or especially one designed to attract attention or increase appeal. Synonyms: angle, ploy, ruse, plan, stunt, concealed. The funny thing is, there's no way you can call Kendrick Lamar a, you know what I mean? You can't call him a gimmick. It makes no sense. This is why when I initially reacted to it, when I initially reacted to that song, to that, 'cause I can't call it a freestyle because it's not. Like when I reacted to it, what did I say? If you caught me live reacting to it, good, because this is, do you know what I mean? This is what it's about. Like the thing is, what did I say? I said, "Oh, he's talking about himself." That was my initial reaction. So how could it be about Kendrick? Get out of it, man.
In the greater sense of hip-hop and the music industry as a whole, which I don't even have to go into how pathetic and wrong of a statement that is, and really for Drake to even use this angle is still showing that he is trying to rewrite and revise history in his own delusional way instead of moving forward. But what's actually showing us something new here is in the second part of this bar, where Drake is referring to all of the people who turned sides on him, and specifically, people who he once considered friends who he thought would never leave his side, which includes names like LeBron James, DeMar DeRozan, and James Harden, who all seemingly.
You know, the funny thing about this whole situation, when I was listening to it, I didn't really catch him dissing LeBron James. You know what I mean? This is why I'm watching this, because I really want to find out. Did he? You know what I mean? What did he say?
Seemingly chose Team Kendrick by going to one of the greatest shows of all time, which of course happened right after Drake took his L with the pop out. And now with Drake actually being a little introspective here and reflecting on how he felt within a way that's actually human, this part is not bad in isolation. But of course, when you remember that he has already shown how he's felt about guys like LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan turning on him, as he has already done things like unfollowing guys like LeBron, and in the case of DeMar DeRozan, he crashed out at him in person when he went to the Raptors game, which was just so embarrassing. Altogether, when you see the real-life way that Drake handled it...
He didn't actually crash out, though. He didn't really do anything, you know what I mean? He didn't really do anything, because he couldn't do anything. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't. You know what I mean? So here's what it is. Like, I remember seeing that video. Like, he couldn't do anything, even if he wanted to. Like, I mean, did he look disgusted? Yeah, he looked disgusted. But it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna go against home team. You know what I mean? Like, he grew up in Compton. You know what I mean? Like, why would he go against home team?
These things. It really does take away from the moment and just makes Drake seem more pathetic than ever when you know the reality of how he reacted as opposed to how it's portrayed in the lyrics. And now beyond these lines, where things in this track really pick up and get a lot more intense, especially in terms of Drake just sending a clear signal for Kendrick Lamar to come back down and diss him again, is in the second verse, as Drake here really codes this entire performance to not just be written with language and subtle cues that are flipping terms that are associated with Kendrick Lamar and his side of the hip-hop world as a whole. But what's most important here, and if this track makes any sort of impact or causes any sort of reaction, it will be because of this, is the section in this verse where he says, who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position. See no conversations, boy, I hope they got double encryption. I hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. This pulled a rabbit out the hat and y'all love a magician. Drake is addressing a lot of things as he sets this moment up with the first part.
I'm intrigued. What is this person's interpretation? Because I'm intrigued to know what they mean by that. Because to me, it's not enough for Kendrick to say, all right, round two. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. Furthermore, Kendrick already, like I said, he said there's not going to be a round two. There is no round twos. And then the other thing is, Drake waved the white flag in the Heart Part 6. You can't wave the white flag and say, I want to go for round two. Like, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? You can't trigger there is no clause for round two. You know what I mean? This isn't boxing where with you know when Tyson Fury versus Usyk, for example, it's like with the first fight they could trigger to fight again. You know what I mean? Irrespective of who lost, but it's obviously we know Fury lost. You know what I mean? They could trigger that, and he could trigger part 3 if he wants to, if they want to. But you know what I mean? But because he lost the first one, he triggered a rematch, and he still lost, but it is what it is. Like, they can do that. That's different. That's boxing. That's sport. I'm not saying that hip hop that battles or rap battles are not sports, because, like Screwface Jeans has says continuously, hip hop is a sport. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, it's not so much the case of who's got more to lose, who's got more to gain. Neither one of them got anything to lose or anything to gain. Let's be completely real here. You know what I mean? Because both of them have been a huge success in their careers, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. Those are facts. Do you get it? Those are facts. So, but if you're talking about credibility, then possibly, yeah. But really, most people already are, I guess not most people, but those who are really, really like real and know the culture or are ready for the culture, they will know. Do you know what I mean? Kendrick doesn't really have anything to lose, whereas Drake can only continue to lose more of his credibility, especially the fact that he went for a lawsuit. So why the hell would Kendrick say, let's go again, when there's a lawsuit or a petition for a lawsuit? You know what I mean? Like, think. And if you think about the timeline, he did it before he cut his hair. Do you see what I mean? Let's think about that for a moment. So just look at the timeline.
Which is undermining Lamar and making him look like a bigger and more important figure than he will ever be. Which, again, when we look at Drake's performance here, this is another one of its failures, because I don't know why he is going about this same strategy again. Because his ability to not see Kendrick as an equal is one of the most vital factors to why he never even stood a chance in this beef, because his own failure in judgment made him underestimate one of the greatest and most competitive rappers of all time. But now, after saying this, no matter how delusional it may be, he sends out another warning to Kendrick and his camp about how he hopes that they have been covering their tracks for everything they have been doing to seemingly manipulate the entire music industry and hip-hop world against him, which, again, this is just a diss that is derived from Drake's straight delusions, and very similar to the Heart Part 6, where Drake just lied to try and sound tough and act like he knew more than he did. This just seems like another rendition of that horrible tactic, but the stakes do get even.
I told you. This is what I'm trying to say. It reminds me of the Heart Part 6. You know me? But obviously the real Heart Part 6 is Kendrick's one on GNX. Get me?
Higher from here, as then Drake says, I hate to see the empire crumble on Judge's conviction, which is the first time we are hearing him address his lawsuit on a track. And now the message that he's trying to send with this line is showing that he both hopes he can win this thing to save his career, but then he is also mocking Kendrick with this bar simultaneously by saying that he hopes the truth doesn't come out because that will ruin all of the success that Kendrick has had in this moment, even though...
Okay, listen. The fact that Kendrick has won, not based on the fact that everything is all truth. I'm not saying that Kendrick is lying. Again, I'm just saying, if you think about everything, yeah, like, how to put it? It's like the impact that it's had to the point where there's a petition for a lawsuit, and the fact that he wants to say convictions of judgment or whatever, then it's like, yeah, you really did lose. Do you see what I'm trying to say? If in the Heart Part 6 he's waving the white flag, I don't want to diss you anymore. Did he not say that? So we can't go on and act like, you know what I mean, that the industry is against him, hip hop is against him. He can't act like that. Do you know what I mean? He can try to, but he's only going to make things look worse for himself. Because the reality of life is, sometimes you just have to take the L, and you got to learn from it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I feel like I'm all good for this is back and forth. I'm good for that. I it's fun. It's entertaining. But like, for hip hop culture and even grime culture as well, like it's entertaining. But the thing is, and also dancehall culture as well. But like, it's entertaining. But the reality is, when you got someone who is, I don't know what the word is anymore, man. Like they're just parodying, like or parroting, should I say, or cosplaying a culture, and then they get found out. I don't know, man. He's finished. I put it that way. He's finished.
With all the evidence presented and with the fact that we all lived through this moment and just saw the people get inspired by something Kendrick did like nothing else in hip-hop has in years, no one believes anything Drake is trying to claim about Kendrick and the success of Not Like Us as a whole.
And the funny thing is as well, from even if you listen to the Euphoria disc, listen to it closely, yeah? Everything he said in that, he has more or less predicted. Like, if we did my predictions earlier, yeah? Or not my predictions, but reacted to predictions earlier, he's more or less predicted what's happened. Even before this whole Drake beef as well, Kendrick Lamar has been known to say things, and they are actually predicted to be true. The same thing with Kanye West, but we're talking about Kendrick here. So it's like, I mean, Drake needs to just get over it, man. You lost the battle, you lost the war. Just move on, bruv. You know what I mean? All he's got to do is just move on. Like, he doesn't have to talk about it. And like, the best thing he can do is just, if he still wants to do hip hop music, he can still do it. It's not, get me? He can still do it. Even if he's got his situation, his beef with UMG and High Up Radio, and he can still put out his music and do what he wants to do. But the reality is this: just be yourself. You don't have to talk about Kendrick Lamar anymore. You don't have to, you don't have to do that stuff anymore. You don't need to, because we know he lost. You know what I mean? It's obviously, we now know how he feels, but like, I don't know, like, I don't know.
But now adding even more lyrics aimed in response to Kendrick in this track, Drake officially answers back to some of the biggest disses Kendrick threw out against him on the song that changed everything in Meet the Grams, as he tries to explain that he doesn't have a drinking problem, but then kind of admits he does have the problem, but then ultimately justifies it by saying it's subtle, and then trying to cope even more with all of this and wherever he's trying
and then saying that he's got his mom's permission. Like, what are you taught at this guy, man? This guy, he's just a dude. What's it? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know.
to go from here. He then says, I got my father's habits and my mother's permission. And then again, making this entire section in response to Kendrick even more confusing. He builds on.
Oh wait, hang on. Could this have been recorded straight after the Heart Part 6? Or just before, or after, after Meet the Grahams, but then he thought, okay, maybe this is not best to release. That's what it seemed like to me. Because even with him mentioning the lawsuit, I feel like he was gonna do that anyway. Do you know what I mean? He's the Karen of hip hop. Do you know what I mean? I don't really consider him part of hip hop, but he's the Karen of it now that we are fully aware. So I don't know, like he's just, I don't know, man. It's a weird situation that he's in, but it's all on him. It's his fault. You've got to take accountability for your own actions.
On this saying, my dad got another child. I told him that wasn't my sister. And here?
I can't believe I went on a group trip for solo travellers and I loved it. Beforehand, everything put me off. New people, a new type of travel.
Drake is directly flipping Kendrick's lines about him having some serious issues, but with the way he goes about it, I don't really think this is the flex he thinks it is. And with the last bar...
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he wrote these bars himself, which I don't think he did, what makes you think that was a good idea? What made him go with that bar? You know what I'm saying? What made him go with that line? Like, seriously, what made him go with that line? Can someone please tell me? Why would you go with that line? It just makes you seem like at your age now, you're nearly 40 years old, and you're acting like that. Come on, man, stop it. Stop it.
Or here especially. He is seemingly expanding on Kendrick's claims about him having a daughter by then saying his dad had another child, which then I guess is trying to deflect that bar just away from him and on his father, or at least that's really the only way this bar makes some sort of sense in the context it's written in. And now with all of this...
Yeah, but then if that... Okay, so if... This is why I was confused about that bar alone, right? Because I'm like, what made him go with that bar? Okay, maybe he's just addressing what's going on in his family life, cool, whatever. That happens, right? Cool. Well, it doesn't always happen, but cool. That happens. You could talk about your family issues and shit and stuff like that. That's normal for most artists. However, the issue here is, what is it is, because now people are trying to say this is Kendrick, so is this supposed to be a rebuttal to him claiming? So this is what I'm trying to say. Does this seem like it's meant to be a rebuttal for Meet the Grahams? But because of how awful this really is, I don't think this was intentionally supposed to be put out. And the fact that it's been released now, I feel like it's just got to a point where Drake is feeling like he needs a resurgence of energy, if that makes any sense. And he feels like, I don't know, he feels like he wants a resurgence, but this is not the best way to go about it. It's not what, you know what I mean? It's not giving what he thinks it should give. You know what I mean? This was never a good idea. Sometimes some things should just be left behind. You know what I mean? Sometimes in, let's say in sports in general, right? You normally have practice, and there's some skills and certain moves you may do in training, and you're like, okay, yeah, that was never good to do. Yeah. So you never try it in the actual game time. This was one of those moments. Yeah. You don't put this in game time. And even though, yes, this is after the beef and after whatever, still, the reality is, why did he leak this? Like, thank God I'm not Drake, or thank God I'm not in his team. Because if I was in his team, or you know what I mean, I would have told him not to release this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. You know what I mean? Don't you dare release that. You know what I mean? Leave that in your lock. Just leave that in the vault. In fact, delete it. You know what I mean? Anything that is awful, delete it. There should be no evidence of that song that is awful for a diss track. Delete it. No one needed to hear this. But cool, we're hearing it now, and he's clearly made another fatal mistake. Yeah. Because like Kendrick said, I'm doing him like COVID did. They'll never get over it. Drake is never getting over this. And the thing I was going to say as well, like, if he's addressing the whole Meet the Grave situation, it's like, hang on. Didn't he kind of address it in the Heart Part 6 where he said, I'm the one that fed you the information. This, that. So what's the truth? Get me? We don't have till eternity to find out the truth, because that truth could have come up very soon anyway. Let's go.
This, which together includes Drake trying to intimidate Kendrick with his litigation and then sees him responding to Kendrick's disses on Meet the Grahams by saying everything he said is still kinda half true. All in all, while some people are going to be impressed by this and claim that Drake is back because cadence-wise he is rapping coherently over a Conductor Williams beat, when you actually try to break down what he is saying and see the things he is trying to flip, all while once again trying to call Kendrick Lamar an underdog even after he has overtaken him in every single category possible. All this song really is the same story with a different presentation from Drake, and as he is still showing that he has learned no lessons from this beef whatsoever, and really that even despite losing, he is still using the same angles and losing strategy to try and make any sort of comeback, and even beyond all these things, making this song even more jarring, another question we have to ask ourselves entirely is, why do all of this now? I mean, when you put everything into perspective, Drake is already lost, and the actual back and forth of this beef is over in terms of diss tracks being put out. So really from Drake releasing this song where he is just ranting about a reality that he could have tried to fix way before this but didn't, all in all, while this...
Ranting. That's the best way to put it. He is ranting. You know what I mean?
This song may be a bright spot for him in what has been one of the worst career runs both on the mic and off of it that we have ever seen from a rapper. This song is still nothing special, as he's not pushing the needle forward, and really for Kendrick, if the goal of this song was to create just enough attention to get back in the conversation with him without being directly engaged in a full-on back and forth, well, Drake still failed at that, because really, what does Drake say here that makes Kendrick need to come back out and prove something to him once again? Because of course, Kendrick has already won the beef, he has the Super Bowl, he has an entire stadium tour planned, and he has the most successful rap album out right now. So really, with Kendrick controlling everything right now, and Drake responding back to a few lines from a song that dropped over a half a year ago here, this is just another confusing move from Drake. But now what's really interesting is that as more rappers are coming back onto the scene and coming at Kendrick, and what's also interesting is that from Joey to Drake to even with J. Cole's 7-minute drill, they all dissed him over beats that were from none other than Conductor Williams. Well, maybe something is going on in 2025, and because of all the power Kendrick Lamar has.
Conductor Williams. What are you trying to conduct? What are you trying to conduct? I'm gonna have to read this still. In fact, maybe if I put up on thing, you'll see it. Because there is something going on. Conductor Williams, what is his issue here? You know what I mean? He's got a problem. I like it though, because it's like obviously beef, it's hip hop. You need productions. So obviously, if they can all have a producer on their team to produce rhythms, cool. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what happens, isn't it? Give me a second. You know what I mean? Let's honestly see what happens. But again, like I said, with Kendrick, there's nothing else that needs to be said. Like literally nothing needs to be said. Kendrick has already won. Drake has lost. Now Joey Badass. I don't know. Like that Rulers Back song is more of a bait. The question is, who's gonna fall for it? Is Kendrick gonna fall for it? Nah. Schoolboy Q, maybe. Absol, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna really fall for it? I want someone that's proper lyrical. I want, you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens, man.
We are now going to see more MCs than ever, from Drake to everyone else, just try to pull out everything they can in their power to stop him from becoming the undisputed GOAT. And so now with all that said, let me know. What do you think about this new track from Drake, and what do you think this does to help his image right now in this time where he has been on one of the worst runs of all time? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how just as Drake dissed Kendrick Lamar again, Kendrick has another new opponent rising who may just make this year more competitive than ever in hip-hop, check out the suggested video.
So that rhythm sound like a Rakim type of rhythm. You just feel like you're gonna, you know what I mean? But anyway, it's like this. Let's see. Actually, I was gonna read it, but I'll leave it out because I've been running the stream for a bit too long. If Drake is reading this, it's too late. Well done. Well done. Well done. What's his person's name? Several Clouds, 3288. Congratulations. I like that. I like that. Now, the best response from Kendrick is no response. Exactly. All you got to do is see him, like he's crashing. He literally is crashing out. He's crashing out. He's crashing out. Once a lame, always a lame. It wasn't a diss, but was a pathetic attempt to play victim. I don't know. I think it was a diss. Drake took my name. Drake took my name is Drake, and I'm here to say, Kendrick Lamar, your disses aren't okay. Videos to heart. it goes back to Meet the Grahams and everything Kendrick said it was true. Do you see what I'm saying? Dear Aubrey, you remember? Dear Ovid. Hey, shout out to Castanet. That was funny. Dear Aubrey, hold on. Dear Aubrey, you lost. It is what it is. Nothing you will do will change that. And the more you do, the more you expose yourself as someone. No. Let's say, dear Aubrey, you lost. It is what it is. Nothing you will do will change that. And the more, now let's put it this way, and it is okay because not everyone can win rap battles. You did not complain this much when you lost to Pusha T. You should have left this in the vault. Better yet, delete this. Now, big up fantastic hip hop and their breakdown. You know what I mean? That sounds right. I've got to be careful how I write words. Anyway, for real though, it's so interesting how this has transpired, man. Like, I would have never thought in a million years this would, you know what I mean? I would have never thought in a million years hip hop would take it this far. Hey, yo, but anyway, hey, thank you for watching. Get me like tomorrow, there's a chance I may go live again. You know what I mean? Don't know what time though. You know what I mean? But shout you out for watching. Yeah, man. Next time, share when I'm live and you're watching live. By all means, share. You know what I mean? And as soon as you join the live, like. Leave a comment in the comments, leave a comment in the live streams so I can shout you out as well. You know what I mean? It's good to give shout outs to anyone and everyone. Let's go. But anyway, Happy New Year and that. I hope your new year continues to be a good one and all that. But yeah.